things themselves, materials, are indifferent, but the use of them is not indifferent. How, then, shall a man preserve firmness and tranquillity, and at the same time be careful and neither rash nor negligent? If he imitates those who play at dice, the counters are indifferent, the dice are indifferent. How do I know what the cast will be? But to use carefully and dexterously the cast of the dice, this is my business. Thus, then, in life also the chief business is this: distinguish and separate things, and say, externals are not in my power, will is in my power. Where shall I seek the good and the bad? Within, in the things which are my own, but in what does not belong to you, call nothing either good or bad, or profit, or damage, or anything of the kind. What then? Should we use such things carelessly? In no way, for this, on the other hand, is bad for the faculty of the will, and consequently against nature. But we should act carefully, because the use is not indifferent, and we should also act with firmness and freedom from perturbations, because the material is indifferent. For where the material is not indifferent, there no man can hinder me or compel me. Where I can be hindered and compelled, the obtaining of those things is not in my power, nor is it good or bad, but the use is either good or bad, and the use is in my power. But it is difficult to mingle and to bring together these two things: the carefulness of him who is affected by the matter or things about him, and the firmness of him who has no regard for it. But it is not impossible, and if it is, happiness is impossible. But we should act as we do in the case of a voyage. What can I do? I can choose the master of the ship, the sailors, the day, the opportunity. Then comes a storm. What more have I to care for? For my part is done. The business belongs to another, the master. But the ship is sinking. What then have I to do? I do the only thing I can, not to be drowned full of fear, nor screaming, nor blaming God, but knowing that what has been produced must also perish. For I am not an immortal being, but a man, a part of the whole, as an hour is a part of the day. I must be present like the hour, and past like the hour. What difference then does it make to me how I pass away, whether by being suffocated or by a fever, for I must pass through some such means. How then is it said that some external things are according to nature, and others contrary to nature? It is said as it might be said if we were separated from union or society. For to the foot I shall say that it is according to nature for it to be clean, but if you take it as a foot, and as a thing not detached, independent, it will befit it both to step into the mud and tread on thorns, and sometimes to be cut off for the good of the whole body. Otherwise it is no longer a foot. We should think in some such way about ourselves also. What are you? A man. If you consider yourself as detached from other men, it is according to nature to live to old age, to be rich, to be healthy. But if you consider yourself as a man and a part of a certain whole, it is for the sake of that whole that at one time you should be sick, and at another time take a voyage and run into danger, and at another time be in want, and in some cases die prematurely. Why then are you troubled? Do you not know that as a foot is no longer a foot if it is detached from the body, so you are no longer a man if you are separated from other men? For what is a man? A part of a state, of that first which consists of gods and of men, then of that which is called next to it, which is a small image of the universal state. What then? Must I be brought to trial? Must another have a fever? another sail on the sea, another die, and another be condemned? Yes, for it is impossible in such a universe of things, among so many living together, that such things should not happen, some to one and others to others. It is your duty then, since you are come here, to say what you ought, to arrange these things as it is fit. Then someone says, I shall charge you with doing me wrong. Much good may it do you. I have done my part, but whether you also have done yours, you must look to that, for there is some danger of this too, that it may escape your notice.